Service Commission process, but essentially we just need permits from DCRA to build the construction. So the permitting process is a little bit less complex than actually constructing the substation itself. We expect that to last a few years, probably about 3 years, 2 to 3 years. That would not be in this immediate vicinity. We do have to bring in feeders from our Tacoma substation, which is in Maryland, and we'll be bringing those lines through the city to terminate at the substation here. As far as the local site activities, we're actually not planning to start construction on the site until 2018, probably third quarter 2018. So it's going to be a few years yet before we start actually seeing activity. But we want to make sure we get out early to let you know what's coming and then keep you updated as things progress. The construction time frame of building the substation is probably going to last probably about 1.5 years. So end of 2018 to probably beginning of 2020. And then we'll be bringing the substation in service in June of 2021 is our target date. So there's other work that has to take place in that time frame, as well as building the underground distribution feeders and, as I mentioned, the transmission lines. So you can kind of picture in your mind sometime around 2018 where you're really starting to see activity on the site really start to kick up. Mark, anything you want to add?
That's all I have formally. We'd be happy to take any questions you have.
Question.
I know you mentioned this was that first okay, but the construction that was taking place down the middle of 6th Street, did that have anything to do with substations being built in this area? I was told, I had actually stopped and actually talked to one of the workers, they were installing power lines in the middle of the street away from the gas lines, away from the water lines that eventually occurred. But we never got any official information about what was taking place. I just stopped and just asked one of the workers, they were installing power lines in the middle of the street.
On 6th Street.
On 6th Street, all the way down from probably, well, 6th and Rhode Island, all the way up to 6th and O. They've been doing that for the past 3 weeks. And the streets are not complete. The areas where they poured the concrete, they've dug the holes and poured the concrete, they haven't repaired the street yet. So I'm concerned about this. I didn't know if it has something to do with the substation being built.
No.
Or if there's any relationship.
I'll
between
find
what
out
you're-
what project that is.
Yeah, I'm not
It's
sure.
not, it's not associated with what we're talking about.
Okay, I just wanted to check dots, okay?
I have a couple questions. First thing is, are you planning to have a community meeting with the people in the community where this is going to be located?
Absolutely.
And when is that going to happen? That's question number one. Question number two, why in God's name would you put an electrical substation on the same city block as a rec center and a public school with children everywhere? That doesn't make a hill of sense to me.
So the first question, yes, we're going to have many meetings. We've started our outreach and stuff for an ANC meeting. This is why we're starting early. It's 2016, and we're talking about, construction starting, 2 years from now. So we want to leave plenty of time for outreach. That's why we started early. The second point is, let me go back to the point I made earlier. We have substations all over the city. We have substations right next to schools, we have substations right next to homes, we have a new substation, the new Marriott Marquis. The westernmost portion of it is a substation. You wouldn't even know it's there because they extended the facade of the hotel to cover it, so you wouldn't know it's there. The reason I make that point is that they're very safe. They're all over the place, and they are in very close proximity to where people live, work, go to school, go to church. They're all over, and they're in all types of neighborhoods. And so the reason we are placing it here is because it's basically the center of the load where it's needed. So we took a look at the vicinity where the upgrades were needed to accommodate all the new growth that we're talking about, all the new residential growth, commercial growth, retail growth, and you want to find a point that's roughly in the center. And so that's why that site was selected. It was a site that was owned by the city, and it fit the size needs and also just the appropriate location to serve the surrounding community. In the back of your handout, there's a picture, or there's several pictures of substations, you know, all through the city. And,
But there's no conceptual design of this one.
well, that hasn't begun. That's the whole purpose of coming out to the community. We've not begun, when you said the conceptual design, the facade and all that, that's what we're gonna come out to the community and get input on. So, because you can make a substation look like virtually anything you want. It's a building that's encasing the equipment that we need. So, the building can look like whatever the community kind of needs it to look like. And so, as Bob talked about trying to blend in with the community, when we have a substation that's in a residential neighborhood, it'll look like a row house. If you have a substation that's in the downtown business community, it looks like a business. If you have a substation right next to the hotel, it looks like the hotel. So coming out to the community is exactly the purpose of that, and making sure that, you know, you and your neighbors are all involved in the design process.
The other question that comes up is that particular community, that area, has been under construction for the last 10 years. And people are sick and tired of construction and the streets being ripped up. And things like, you know, things they want to be put in, like FiOS wiring and whatever, that doesn't happen. All we do is get a beautiful streetscape, and then the next 6 months or a year, someone comes and digs the whole thing up, and I think that people are not going to be receptive unless there is a really, really good plan about traffic diversion, having someone there to, which is not happening at Capitol Crossing. I mean, we have traffic backup on Saturdays and Sundays that are hours long. And nobody likes Petco anyway, so you're going to have a lot of negative feedback.
I love you.
Because I
Thank
think,
you.
you know, whether, you know, I'm not saying true or not true, I'm saying the feeling is, you know, is a negative feeling towards Compton.
I fully get that, and again, that's why we're out here early, we're gonna be out here often, we're gonna have those traffic plans in place. And to, you know, the point about construction, and people don't like construction that's going on, you know, the reason we need a substation is because of the development, it's because of the growth. And so, when you look at where the heaviest growth in the city is where you need the new substation. So we are supporting all that new growth, but we're gonna do it, you know, keeping the concerns of the community in mind, making sure we're out talking to you guys, making sure that we're doing it in the least, you know, obstructive way.
So, where I live, I don't have a lot of power outages. So basically what you're saying is with the development of these substations, it will keep neighborhoods and houses from losing power.
Exactly.
So if
Exactly.
you don't build them, then people will start losing power during storms.
There won't be sufficient load to service all the new residents and businesses. Exactly.
So in the time that you actually owned the property, especially the property along First Street, you guys have been abysmal stewards of that property. That property has been rat infested, it has been weed choked. There are weeds that are 3, 4, 5 feet tall, regularly there, it's never cut. I've had innumerable conversations with Commissioner Judd, who's single member district this is located. You guys have done a lousy job over there. And you're gonna be holding that property, you know, in stasis for another 2 years. We need you to commit to a regular mowing schedule, to a rat abatement schedule. We need to make sure that you are good neighbors as to how that property is maintained until you're ready to start construction.
Please do. Absolutely.
I mean, the rat infestation is important. K Street, we just had
Really is.
hundreds and hundreds. We had DOH out, and we had to have them out every week for many, many weeks just to get control. And once another construction site starts, it's going to, you know, it'll get even worse. But we need some sort of,
Cleanliness.
oh, we need something from you guys that say, yes, you know, you've owned this property for a while and you haven't done anything to do upkeep. Can we count on you to do some upkeep by next month?
We'll address
Can
it.
you have something? I mean, we're not being, I don't
No,
think being,
that's totally
not
realistic.
reasonable at all.
That's reasonable, yeah.
Well, no, that's why I had no comment other than yes. Just yes.
Yeah, we'll address it with our maintenance department.
have you spoken to the SID and had conversation with the people there?
We just met with them.
Last week.
Last week? Yes, last week.
And I called last, this week. All that stuff, the old walking, walking out.
The Walker Jones.
Yes, that debris, clean up.
I mean, on the farm, on the
The
garden
all
itself.
walking down.
No, it's basically their land. It's their land.
The lot that's on.
It's not the
First
farm.
Street
The
side.
farm is taking care of it. But their lot.
We'll get on that.
Okay.
Get on that. Please,
Yes,
thank you.
you're very welcome.
Can I make a?
Just a minute, we have to make sure commissioners are finished with their comments. Anybody else? Gentleman in the back with his hand up.
Thank you. How you doing? I'm a resident of the neighborhood and several questions that I think too, and I understand y'all in the process, you already there, but I think the process is what got you there is disrespectful to the neighborhood, because I know this had something to do with the transfer of something between Reed Center, the ballpark, if I'm wrong, correct me, but for you to come out at this stage when you got your plans and all that, I think y'all should have came to the neighborhood and talked to the pastors, the churches, and everybody to see, to get us buy-in. Just put me in the mind of Walmart. And I'm saying that to say, after you done worked all your deals out with the city, now you come in to get our blessing. But at the end of the day, some of the things you want to do has something to deal with on the other side of North Capitol when they had that shortage, when they was building all them buildings, that I don't think the power heard. So it would have cut Tyler House lights and on that grid. So all the development that's going on don't have the energy to carry, correct?
Right, so the purpose of the substation is to supply all the new development, yes.
Yes, sir. That's what I'm saying. I know it has something to do with the grid from, in the area, but the point I'm making, what made you pick this spot?
So two things, you talked about other land. So to be clear, when we purchased the property, it was part of a land swap deal. The district government purchased a plot of land from us in Southwest waterfront area. At the same time, we purchased this property. We've actually met with the minister at the Mount, well, Biblewood definitely, and also, I'm sorry, at Mount Airy as well. And again, this is 2016, we're not even talking about any construction happening for a few years. The whole purpose of us coming out here today is to really announce it to the ANC and to definitely get on your agendas, get on your schedules, be at your meetings, at your community meetings, your churches, or whatever's needed over the next few years to make sure that there is a lot of public input. The last thing we'd want to do is, design something and start building it and then come to you. So, we don't even have, we have what we know, the parameters of the building, kind of how big it needs to be to house the equipment. And then we want to really get buy-in from everyone about what it looks like and how it best blends into the community. So that process has already begun, and it's going to continue in earnest. Yes, sir. I'm sorry.
I live in a new development in Suburban, right next to that, where y'all gonna put the power plant. And, we ain't heard nothing about it. The district of Columbia told us that they was gonna renovate it to y'all, but nobody came out with no meetings, nobody sent no literature or nothing. And my understanding, high voltage, that high voltage, right, it plays effect on people, right? And we got a lot of kids in the neighborhood. They play in that playground and everything. So why couldn't y'all shift that over there to First Street on the railroad track somewhere with all the power, or where all that power voltage is? Why you have to stick it right in our neighborhood?
So the first thing, just to clarify, it is not a power plant. Pepco doesn't generate any electricity whatsoever anywhere anymore. We're a distribution-only company. What it actually does is it takes the power from the transmission lines and it actually decreases the power to make it appropriate to send out to the feeders to supply the various neighborhoods. There are studies that have been shown that the what's called
EMF, electromagnetic fields.
that is given off from a substation is no more than the EMF that's given off from household items. Anything with an electrical source gives off a certain amount of EMF. So there's EMF being given off by these lights right here. When you go home, there's EMF being given off by, the alarm clock on your nightstand. There's EMF being given off by every single thing. But we have conducted studies and we have literature that we can give to you. And I'm not sure, I did not bring it, but I can certainly get it to the ANC.
Yeah, it's on our website,
It's on the
you know,
website, too.
pepco.com, there's links to
And it shows
information.
comparisons of, common household items and how close we have to be, for there to be anywhere even close to a dangerous level of EMF, and the substations don't come anywhere close to that. And so, I keep on repeating it, but the reason I keep talking about the fact that we have 50 substations all over DC and also to neighborhoods, Georgetown waterfront, up Wisconsin Avenue, what have you, is because we put them where they are needed to serve people. It's not like some, transfer station where we're sticking it over there because, it's just out of the way. No, we put it there because we need to serve our customers, and that's the whole purpose of it, and we're very safe.
Okay, I'd like to know what the next meeting.
Okay.
Yeah,
I can get, okay.
cause all that stuff down there didn't come up.
Make sure you get in touch with
I walk and I call.
I'm assuming this is the end of your presentation, and we thank you. I am sure that there's going to be community meetings, and I'm sure there's going to be lots more questions and other things that come out of that, so be prepared.
Okay.
Be prepared. Okey-doke. Our next order of business is the curb cuts for Sosa Quarter. Are those folks here? Okay, we're moving right on. Public space, Bow Tie Sidewalk Cafe. Not here? Moving right on. La Jambe Sidewalk Cafe. Thank God you're here. I just want to make sure, 1710 10th Street, are you here? Okay. And 111 Mass? You're here, okay.
I'll be brief because I've been to enough of these to know that they always go over. My name is Dave. I'm born in the district. Married a French woman, brought her back to live with me in the district, and she wanted to open up a bar, so we're opening up a bar. We're first-time small business owners. We're funded by the SBA. We're very much rookies at this. We've already gone through, we find folks at the ANC for our liquor license. Everything else has gone fine. So this is our application for a outdoor patio. We have an agreement with Mr. Padro for certain hours and limitations. We only have 12 chairs that are going to be out there, and no one's allowed to stand. So that's how many people are going to be out there. Shouldn't be any issues like there are with some of the neighbors. We've been in touch with our neighborhood group and have great relations with them. And I'm actually in a great mood today because I just found out about an hour ago that we have our certificate of occupancy ready to pay to go. So we'll hopefully open.
Excuse me, if you could please take your conversations out into the hallway. Thank you.
Thank you. So we'll hopefully open in the next couple weeks, and we look forward to meeting all of you and hopefully serving you a drink or something to eat.
Anybody have questions on the outdoor cafe? Which is what we're dealing with, right?
Correct, so this is in my single-member district, and again, the liquor license has already been, approved. They will not be serving after midnight, any day of the week, to address questions about noise, and there are only 12 tables, 12 seats, excuse me, so it's a very modest outdoor cafe. So Civic Association in the area has not had any objections related to this when we proposed it initially. So I'll move that ANC 6E support the public space application for the outdoor cafe for La Jambe at 1557th Street Northwest, and we communicate that support to the Public Space Committee and the Director of the District Department of Transportation.
I'll second it. Any discussion? Any other discussion?
What is Le Jardin?
So it's French, not surprisingly. It means the leg. So it's a reference to a couple things, but most importantly, the ham leg that we sell, little slices of cured meats. It comes from a leg. As with everything, this is my wife's idea. I'm just following along.
Okay, all in favor?
We say that all the time.
Take this vote, all in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay. Thank you, sir, you are approved.
Thank you all.
And what's the address?
1550
7th Street.
7th Street.
7th and Q.
You want me to do this? I don't mind. Do we know you? You might as well pull up a chair. Okay. We are 1710 10th Street. Okay, what are you guys doing?
Hi, thank you for having us. My name is Ron Schneck. I'm with Square 134 Architects. I apologize. I understand the projector's in the other room because it was too hot, so I just have 11 by 17 packets here. I don't know, we may have an extra if anyone in the audience wants to take a look at them. We're here tonight for a property at 1710 10th Street Northwest. It's this blue building right here. This is the purchaser, Patrick Conway with Lot 7 Development. We're here because we are seeking HPRB approval in the end of June. And we met with the subcommittee last Thursday. And we presented the project there. I'll quickly walk you through it. Basically, what you're seeing here is the front facade, which we will just be repairing as necessary. There is a two-story addition at the rear that will not be visible from the public way. And if you're familiar with the process, that's sort of the mandate of HPRB, and we've been talking to Ann Brockett with them. The only other sort of thing that she was concerned about was this areaway that's in the front of the property. We're going to keep exactly the same size. So there's some pictures for those who have the sets. This is the proposed front elevation. Obviously, it's a flat-on elevation, so you see the rear addition, but I have other images that show that you're not going to see it from the street, and we will do a flag test like we always do to demonstrate that it's not visible from the street. This is the rear addition. This portion is new construction. We are providing a slight setback at the top floor, just to sort of articulate the two-story nature of the context. Again, this sheet's a little misleading as well because it's just a straight-on section showing, that how far back it is from the street. But again, the real test is the flag test that we performed. And here are a few sort of perspective views showing the addition there, and this is the existing front facade, and then again the addition at the rear. We have also floor plans in the back. This will be a two-unit project. One unit will be the first and second, the cellar and first floor, and then the other unit will be the second and partial third floor. Like I said, we've been talking to Ann Brockett. We'll be going to HPRB at the end of June. We have talked to both neighbors. I don't know if you just want to explain what.
We finally got in touch with the second neighbor. I think Dave sent forward you that email. Neither one of them has a problem with what we're doing. There's 3-story buildings, 2 houses down through the rest of the block. Yeah, you can see it on the front page.
And you are asking us for what?
Historic preservation.
We were asking for your support tonight. I did forget to add, I talked to Gail Henson last night from the French Street Neighborhood Association. She said, I sent her this exact package. She looked at it, she said she's fine. She still would like us to submit on Monday, and present with her on Monday night, which I'm going to do. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know logistically how that works. I mean, we'd rather, since we're going to be in HPRB at the end of June, we'd rather not have to come back in July. But I don't know if there's like a contingent support. I don't know how you.
This is non-controversial. We've
Okay.
approved comparable
Okay.
additions within this particular civic association's service area. So,
Okay.
and with the support of the adjacent neighbors, I don't see any reason that we need to delay a vote.
Okay, thank you.
So this is in my single member district, and I would like to make a motion that ANCCC, support, the concept and design for the addition to 1710 10th Street Northwest, and that we communicate that support to the Historic Preservation Review Board.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? 700, Karen? Excellent.
Thank you very much.
We'll get a letter out this week.
Thank you.
Mass Ave?
I'm Dennis Hughes with Holland and Knight Land Use Council for Douglas Development, and Andrea Gordine is passing out the packages of information item. So I'm going to turn it over very quickly to give you a very quick overview of Ashton Allen with Studios Architecture, and go run through it, and I'll come back and give you the details of what we're requesting.
Excellent. Thank you, commissioners, for having us here tonight. We're really excited to talk about an exciting reposition project for a building that has had a long presence in the district, that is very notable, but wants to be its highest best use. And Douglas Development is looking to transform the building into something that will be a true gateway for the Mount Vernon Triangle community. So we are talking about the building 111 Massachusetts Avenue, which is at the corner of New Jersey Avenue, Massachusetts Avenue, 2nd Street Northwest, and 8th Street Northwest. It is known and is currently owned under the title of Jamal's Darth Vader. It is a building that you're probably familiar with for saying Douglas Development on the penthouse. If you are exit the Metro at 8th Street under the Chinatown Arch, and you look down across Cobb's Park, you see that black facade there. The work of the development team is to reposition that building as a current tenant moves out, and to have it. There's the picture of the existing building for those who are familiar with it. The work of the design team and the vision is to really reposition this building to make it a great addition to the streetscape and to the district in general. So along with the development of Capitol Crossing, which is happening directly to the south, as we've all talked about the current construction condition, redevelopment of Cobb's Park, which is being worked through public space. This architecture is looking to be the backdrop for that, all that development. So this rendering shows the revised vision for the building. Today, the building is 110 feet tall, and it ends at where you're seeing this large terrace. There are two floors will be added to the top of the building. None of the below grade will be changed. The ground floor lobbies will be moved such that if we can find the right retail tenants to really enliven this street, we can have retail at the base of this building. And then as that neighborhood enlivens, the edge of Cobb's Park, the opportunity for that, I'll show you a site plan later. So this view is looking at the freeway exit from 2nd Street coming off of 395. New green front to the building and an all-glass facade, which really repositions and changes the aspect of the building. There's also a public art program that we're looking to collaborate with an artist with the help of the community to find a site-specific piece of art, site-specific art concept, whether it's one piece or many pieces. We've located some of those on the project that really help tell the story of the community and give something as a focus. So this is the view at Massachusetts Avenue looking north. This is the view that today is at the acute angle of New Jersey and Massachusetts Avenue. Thank you, Charles Lafont, for giving us all these pointy corners. So this, again, the corner that you're seeing here is the height of the current building, so that presence on Massachusetts Avenue, the mass really doesn't change. That density is pushed back toward New Jersey. And again, same architecture, and then the opportunity for real frontage for a tenant at the street, changing that entire presence. This is a view, as I mentioned, today when you get out of the metro at Chinatown and you look down through the Chinatown Arch at the end of H Street, this is the view looking there. So this is Massachusetts Avenue and H Street where they intersect. This is the corner of the restaurant or the corner where the cutting room is. The intent is that that's really backdrop for Cobb's Park and the new activity that happens there, and that architecture is really a focal point creating that space. And then finally, one of the most important connections in the city that today is somewhat underwhelming in the architecture is H Street. That small connection, which although it's not very large on the block from a building footprint, there's a lot of streetscape on New Jersey Avenue that's looking to transform, and we've been working very close with public space to do that. But again, creating some green life onto that building, really transforming that face and having it as that access point that would get you from Cobb's Park down to the H Street corridor. Finally, this is a look at the ground floor plan. For the sake of these drawings, north is up like this, so I could just do a quick rotation of this. So this is oriented north as the building is. So this is 2nd Street, where you'd exit from the freeway, Massachusetts Avenue, New Jersey Avenue, and H Street. So lobby at the corner, where these larger spaces that say tenant, this is where we're hoping that we find a great retail tenant and a great retail market to really potentially transform the street sense in that. Each of these streetscapes, which are intended to go above and beyond the work that we've done with public space to really create a park-like environment, particularly on New Jersey Avenue where there's a lot of depth. We've worked very closely with public space to create these. Fundamentally, parking and loading stays the same. Below grade space stays the same. We're not taking away any parking spaces. We are maintaining the current system. We are adding parking adding bicycle parking for the new regulations, and we're really excited about this project, and open it up to any questions for Dennis or I or the rest of the team to answer.
Yeah, before questions, I'd just like to summarize the process. The building that we're proposing to renovate, the Darth Vader building, was approved as a planning and development